United Nations Security Council has postponed a vote on a new sanctions resolution on North Korea, with revisions requested by Russia. The North Korean foreign minister says Pyongyang will no longer participate in the UN Human Rights Council because it has become politicized. And Incheon International Airport has received the highest marks for the 11th straight year, but struggles to stay ahead of the pack as competitors catch up fast. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, March 2nd. I'm Luke Clary. We begin today's program with a report from the United Nations Security Council, which has postponed a vote on a new North Korea sanctions resolution by 1 day to 12 a.m. Thursday, Korea time. Some of the content of the sanctions are also believed to have been revised at the request of Russia.
A vote on the UN Security Council's latest sanctions resolution on North Korea, originally scheduled at 5 a.m. Wednesday Korea time, has been postponed to 12 a.m. Thursday. With all 15 Security Council members agreeing to the final draft, the resolution is expected to be adopted unanimously through an open vote on Thursday. However, a portion of the resolution agreed to between the U.S. and China is believed to have been changed due to Russia's request. Regarding the ban on aviation fuel supply, North Korean civilian aircraft will be allowed to fuel overseas. 12 institutions and 16 individuals have been added to the sanctions blacklist, designed to freeze assets and impose travel bans. In regards to the North's nuclear and missile development, the Academy of Defense Sciences, National Aerospace Development Administration, and the Ministry of Atomic Energy Industry are added to the blacklist. Chief of North Korea's missile program Choi Chun-sik and 2 senior officials at the Aerospace Development Administration will also be blacklisted. Trade-related organizations and individuals have also been added to the list, including the Tanchon Shipping Company, Tanchon Commercial Bank officials, and representatives of the Korea Mining Development Trading Corporation in Syria and Iran.
The North Korean foreign minister says Pyongyang will no longer participate in the UN Human Rights Council because it has become politicized. He also claimed that the only reason the council continues bringing up the regime's human rights record is its military strength.
North Korean Foreign Minister Lee Soo-yong delivered a speech at the UN Human Rights Council for the second consecutive year. Lee said that the council has deviated from its original purpose of discussing human rights because of its double standards and biased political inclinations, and that North Korea will no longer be a part of it.
우리 인권 문제를 계속 선택적으로 개별화하여 정치적으로 공격하고 압력을 가하는 회의들에 더 이상 참가하지 않을 것입니다.
The North Korean foreign minister also stressed that the North is free of such tragic events as gun violence, which kills 13,000 people in the U.S. annually, and the drowning deaths of hundreds of refugees in Europe. He added a cryptic statement that the Council continues to bring up North Korea's human rights issue only because of its enormous military strength. However, counter to initial expectations, Lee said nothing about the UN Security Council's sanctions against Pyongyang as punishment for its nuclear program.
The atmosphere is tense in the Chinese border town of Dandong near North Korea as the UN Security Council votes on new sanctions on the regime in coming hours. Amid the looming sanctions, the Chinese government is struggling to draft trade standards relating to the livelihoods of the North Korean people who are an exception to the sanctions.
The North Korean island of Wihwa is situated on the Amnok River. An old lady is washing clothes on the riverside.
안녕하세요.
Her granddaughter merrily waves her hand. A farmer filling an ox cart with sand also offers greetings. The new UN Security Council sanctions will make exception to allow overseas trade by North Korea for purposes of its people's livelihood. Forecasts coming out of Dandong say that customs on steel, chemicals, and machinery items will be restricted and only trade of groceries will be allowed. The Beijing government is believed to be pondering over standards on what constitutes livelihood. People in Tanchon are closely watching the arrival of new UN sanctions with keen attention on the scope of China's implementation.
Incheon International Airport has received the highest marks for airport service quality for the 11th straight year. However, it seems to be struggling in the ever-intensifying competition to become the best hub airport, as airports in neighboring countries such as China are catching up fast.
A large-scale construction project is underway to the north of the Incheon Airport terminal. Its goal is to expand the airport's facilities with a new passenger terminal and additional berths. The project is so far 50% complete. The new facilities are slated for full completion in 2018. But the number of passengers using Incheon International Airport is expected to surge to 65 million by 2018. This means that even after the expansion, the airport will still struggle to accommodate so many passengers.
지금이라도 늦었더라도 일단 공급 측면에 있어서 빠르게 3단계가 아니고 그 이상 단계의 확장을 한꺼번에 수행할 필요가 있겠고요.
A declining transit rate, which serves as a barometer of a hub airport, will deal an even more critical blow. The rate fell steadily from 18.7% in 2013 to 15.2% last year, the lowest level in a decade. Incheon International Airport has little time left to secure a competitive edge over Southeast Asian and Chinese rivals, which are rapidly catching up.
Life at the Bay of Suncheon began to change ever since some 70 hooded cranes, an endangered species, started visiting the reed-covered wetland 20 years ago. Thanks to steady preservation efforts that followed, Suncheon Bay is now a world-class, environmentally friendly wetland and a winter hibernation site for 1,400 hooded cranes.
The hooded cranes have come from Siberia. The Suncheon Bay mudflats are their home until around mid-March. At sunrise, the birds head to a nearby field in search of food. It was 2 decades ago when 70 of the hooded cranes, an endangered species, first visited the Suncheon Bay. At the time, sand and pebbles were planned to be gathered from the site for construction material. But after KBS first reported on the birds' arrival there, the fate of Suncheon Bay was never the same.
순천만 일대에는 희귀 철새인 흑두루미떼가 찾아왔습니다만 이 지역에 최근 골재 채취 허가가 나는 바람에 철새들이 갈 곳을 잃게 될
All development projects were immediately halted and campaigns took off to protect the bay wetland. Rice seeds were sown while utility poles were removed. Unnecessary vehicle access was also prohibited. The city of Suncheon in South Jeolla Province is carrying out a reverse reclamation project as idle land is returned to the wetlands. Hooded cranes have served to expand ecological space, connecting people to nature.
With more people deciding to live alone, consumer electronics designed for one-person households are gaining popularity. Interestingly, despite their compact size, many of these products have even better performance than their full-size counterparts. Let's take a look.
This adorable water purifier is the size of the palm of one's hand. It supplies warm and cold water at a desired temperature. It also allows for efficient use of space because its faucet can be moved 180 degrees.
작은 아파트의 경우 주방 공간이 좁은데 주방 공간의 효율성을 확대하기 위해서 작은 정수기를 개발 출시하게 되었습니다.
Compact closets that take up little space yet feature state-of-the-art functions that keep clothes wrinkle-free were also designed for single-person households. The market share of multi-purpose kimchi refrigerators that are only 1/4 the size of regular ones has surpassed 30%.
싱글족이라든지 또는 이제 혼자 사시는 분들이 많이 늘어나다 보니까 이제 이런 슬림한 스타일로 해가지고 찾으시는 고객님들이 많이 늘어나는 것 같습니다.
From wall-mounted washing machines to small refrigerators that are easy to install in small spaces, the evolution of compact home appliances is impressive. The reason behind this phenomenon is the growing number of people living alone. The number of one-person households in Korea has surged 8-fold over the past 3 decades. 20 years from now, they are predicted to become the most widespread household form. Small yet sophisticated home appliances have emerged as a breakthrough for makers of consumer electronics.
One of the drawbacks to living in a single-family home is not having security guards as you would find in apartment complexes. Residents feel insecure when vacationing and face inconveniences because there's no one to accept deliveries while they're away. A new village management office has made its debut to provide all of these services for residents living in single-family homes.
A management office, much like the ones at apartment complexes, is located in an alleyway of a residential area. The office is bustling with children who have just returned from their daycare centers. The babysitting center is run by mothers voluntarily pitching in to take care of the children.
한 명씩 돌아가면서 맡기고 같이 딴 일을 볼거나 그럴 수 있어서 안심하고 맡길 수 있어서 좋기도 해요.
The community office also lends tools not easily found in every home, like power drills or ladders. There are also packaged drop-off lockers for people who are not at home during the daytime. Roughly 40 people visit the management office a day on average. It's become an indispensable community center in just a year since it opened. Maintenance workers visit homes to inspect and repair water meters and sink faucets. This home management service is available for only $6.50 a month. The village management offices established to enhance resident welfare have become central to reviving the community spirit.
2 Korean movies set in the era of Japanese occupation of Korea are making waves in theaters. Although they're low-budget films, they present sincere depictions of the Korean people's pains, thus capturing the hearts of moviegoers.
This is a painting drawn by a former sex slave of the Japanese army. The horrifying experience has been brought over to the big screen. The film vividly describes the painful past and the victims' present-day struggles to heal their wounds.
엔딩 크레딧이 끝날 때까지 계속 울었던 것 같아요. 대충은 알고 있었는데 그게 시각적으로 다가오고.
Unable to gather enough investors because it didn't appear profitable, the film's production was instead financed by donations from some 70,000 people. Even without a single recognizable star, the film drew more than 1 million moviegoers in its opening week.
인생은 살기 어렵다는데 시가 이렇게 쉽게 쓰여지는 것은 부끄러운 일이다.
Rather than glamorizing the poet, this movie presents a sensitive and honest portrayal of his inner identity. The film's portrayal of the anguish and frustration felt by young literati during the Japanese occupation period has found an audience with today's young generation. These small, independent films that attempt to preserve Korea's painful past are resonating deeply in the hearts of filmgoers.
Uniquely themed cafes are enjoying a lot of popularity, offering unusual experiences as well as beverages and a space to relax. To name a few of the options, you can visit a fishing cafe, a plane-themed cafe, or even a cafe shrouded in darkness. Today, we bring you to these unique places. Let's take a look.
Inside an ordinary-looking building in Seoul, there's an indoor fishing area. This is a fishing cafe. With an admission fee of $8, you can borrow everything you need from a fishing rod to bait. A dad and his children are totally absorbed in the fun of fishing. Visitors can enjoy fishing in different atmospheres created by different lighting effects.
일단 요새 밖에 날씨도 추운데 일단 좀 따뜻하게 할 수 있어서 제일 좋고 그리고 이제 좀 데이트 코스로도 이용할 수 있어서 그게 제일 좋은 것 같아요.
It's not unusual to want a break from the routine of everyday life. Here's something to break the mold, a cafe decorated like a plane or an airport. Sitting in a comfortable massage chair, you can enjoy impeccable service as if you were traveling first class. Next, we move on to a dark cafe. In darkness, customers explore the cafe depending on their senses other than sight. As the lights turned off, customers are taken aback.
아무것도 보이지 않는 데서 서로 간에 이제 얼굴이 보이지 않기 때문에 뭐 목소리나 아니면은 이제 목소리의 톤으로만 이제 그 사람들을 이제 알아가야 되는데요. 서로 간에 이제 진중한 얘기를 많이 하다가 보니까 좀 더 친밀감이 생기는 이유도 좀 있는 것 같아요.
The so-called surprise course is the most popular. Customers have to dig into a mystery meal without any idea what it will be.
되게 색달라요. 이런데 앞으로도 못 갈 것 같아서. 근데 테마적인 거라 좀 괜찮은 것 같아요. 이런데.
Visiting one of these themed cafes makes an easy escape from the freezing winter chill.
And now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow for a special 10th anniversary edition of our show. Goodbye.